What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. We're going to take a look at Jeff Smith, Bayonne middleweight, phenomenal fighter. Let's take a look at his career. Now, Jeff Smith was Jerome Gemford, who fought under the nickname of Jeff Smith. He was born in New York on August 23rd, 1891. He was a famous middleweight who, like many of his colleagues in his era, was a world traveler. He went all over the place. He traveled to France, Australia. He went everywhere looking for smoke. Fought guys such as Mike Gibbons, who we just talked about, McCurdy, Les Darcy. I'll do a profile on him probably tomorrow. Frank Mattel. He was a master boxer who competed in the rope square for 17 years. 1915, he defeated Les Darcy in Sydney, Australia, the boy from down under. He lost on a foul to Darcy in the second round. Jeff and Harry Greb fought 7 times. Phenomenal. Each a no-decision bout. He also fought a no-decision 15-round contest with Gene Tunney in New Orleans in 1924, before Gene won the crown. At the time, Gene outweighed Jeff by 186 pounds to 154 pounds. Jeff and Tommy Loughran fought twice, and in one bout, he dropped the clever Tommy Loughran. Other famous middleweights and heavies he fought were Bob Mohar, fascinating fighter, Mike Gibbons, Leo Florentin Hook, Frank Mattel, Willie Lewis, Eddie McCautry, Younger Hurd, Mike McTeague. Most of these guys were champions. George Chip and Jimmy Cladby. Smith, after retiring, served as an instructor in boxing in Fort Dix. He had 3 sons who were in the armed forces. Born April 23rd, 1891, New York, nationality American, weighed 158 pounds and stood 5 foot 9 inches. Fascinating. Let's just go through it real quick. 1910. All victories. Look at his schedule. Look how many fights he fought in his first professional year as a fighter. 1911. Look at that schedule. All victories and a few draws. Jimmy Cladby on the second year. New York City, no decision. Ted Nelson, very good fighter, Albany, knocked him out in 4 rounds. Willie Lewis, New York City, I'm sure you heard that name before. No decision, 10 rounds, that was October 12th. (1912). Young Lottery, New York City, knocked him out in 9 rounds. That was February 1st. February 20th, George Chip Thornton defeated him in 15 rounds. February 26th, Eddie Palmer, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 6 rounds. February 27th, Billy West, New York City, no decision in 10 rounds. April 11th, Mike Gibbons, New York City, defeated him, well, it was a no decision. It was a no decision with Mike Gibbons. December 21st, Jim O'Brien, Paris, knocked him out in 3 rounds. 1913, January 25th, Bernard de Bazalek in Paris, defeated him in 10 rounds. February 19th, Frank Mattel, Paris, 20-round draw. October 11th, George Carpentier, Paris. He would become light heavyweight champion. Lost in 20 rounds. See, Jeff Smith traveled all over the world to have his fights. 1914, March 14th, Eddie McCarthy, Sydney, Australia, lost in 20 rounds. With in anybody's backyard. That's what you call a world champion if he was a title holder. Because a world champion travels around the world. That's what he does. June 6th, Jimmy Clapley, Sydney, Australia. Defeated him in 20 rounds. 1915, January 23rd, Les Darcy, Sydney, Australia. Defeated him in 5 rounds. Darcy refused to continue, claiming it was a foul. May 23rd, Les Darcy, Sydney, lost on a foul in 2. December 7th, George Chip, Boston. He was the champion. Defeated him in 4 rounds. He won on a foul in 7 rounds. 1916, March 16th, Mike Gibbons, St. Paul. No decision in 10 rounds. March 28th, Zulu Kid, Albany. No decision in 10 rounds. Fascinating. 1917, Frank Mattel, January 1st, Baltimore. Defeated him in 15 rounds. May 19th, Harry Greb. Was a no decision in 10 rounds in Buffalo. Zulu Kid, Baltimore. Defeated him in 15 rounds. July 21st. Fought Harry Greb again, Milwaukee, no decision. Became a boxing instructor, December 20th. See, all these guys became boxing instructors at the same time because that's when the war was out. It wasn't really a war, but they had their their duty, if you will, their army duty to fulfill. 1918, May 3rd, George Robinson, Boston, 10-round victory. July 4th, Leo Florian Hook, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, no decision in 6 rounds. 1919, May 10th, he fought George Chip, Baltimore, defeated him in 12 rounds. Outstanding achievement. Mike Gibbons, July 4th, no decision, 10 rounds. Panama Joe Gans, July 9th, Atlantic City, no decision in 8. Harry Greb again, Youngstown, Ohio, no decision in 12. Jamaica Kid, Atlantic City, no decision in 8. That was in October. For Jamaica Kid again, November 13th, Atlantic City, no decision in 8. Fought him again, Jamaica Kid, Binghamton, no decision in 10. That was December 11th. Young Jack Johnson, Lowenstein, 1920, January 7th. No decision in 12. This is just phenomenal. And he's going 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and he's fighting, 20 times in a year. It's crazy. August 10th, Mike McTeague, who would be your light heavyweight champion. Defeated him in 15 rounds. Jamaica Kid, Trenton, New Jersey, no decision in 10. Mike O'Donnell right after that. So he fought, let's break this down. Jamaica Kid, October 25th. And he went 10 rounds Jamaica Kid, right? November 9th, which is like 2 weeks. Mike O'Donnell, New York City, lost in 15 rounds. 15 rounds. November 29th, George Robinson, Montreal. Then he goes from New York to Montreal, which is in Canada. No decision, 10 rounds. He gets right back. 1921. He has a fight in January with Pat McCarthy. I know it was January, because I know when he fought him. Worcester defeated him in 10 rounds. February 25th, Harry Greb lost in 10 rounds. He's fighting 10 rounds, 15 rounds, 12 rounds, week after week after week. Mike Gibbons, and these are top-notch fighters. Jersey City, no decision, 12 rounds. December 1st, ends the year off. Mike Mateague, New York City, lost in 15 rounds. This is just, y'all be the judge of this. Look at this 1922. Look how many fights he had. Can hardly fit it all in one screenshot. This is crazy. Like he's fighting once a week. And look who he's fighting. Bob Mohar, Youngstown, Ohio. Fascinating fighter. Harry Greb, Cincinnati. He went 10 rounds with Harry Greb. All right? Pat McCarthy, Dynamite fighter. Lost in 12 rounds. Bob Mohar again. No decision, 10 rounds. Jamaica Kid, Dayton, Ohio. Defeated him in 12 rounds. Jackie Clark. Defeated him in 12 rounds. George Robinson again. Defeated him in 12 rounds. Bob Roper. I don't have his book out, but I'll show you his profile. Defeated him in 15 rounds. Martin Berkey. I mean, this is crazy right here. Clay Turner, another good fighter. Knocked him out in 2 rounds. Harry Greb, Pittsburgh. No decision, 10 rounds. 1923. Keeps that schedule going. Jamaica Kid. 2 different times. This is amazing. Chuck Wiggins, New Orleans. Defeated him in 15 rounds. Look at this. I don't know what to tell you. Look at this. 1924. Look at that schedule. February 18th. Jamaica Kid, New York City. 12 rounds. After retiring from the ring because of a double vision, Smith became physical instructor with Bayonne, New Jersey Board of Education. Let's look at the Police Gazette scrapbook. Here you have Mike O'Donnell, who wins over Jeff Smith in 15-round bout. Mike O'Donnell of St. Paul's, ex-middleweight champion of the world, batters his way into a return engagement with champion Wilson when he decisively defeated Jeff Smith of Bayonne, New Jersey in a hard 15-round bout at Madison Square Garden in New York on the night of November 9th. So he had to fight, O'Donnell had to fight Jeff Smith to get a rematch, a middleweight rematch opportunity with Johnny Wilson. But this is fascinating. This is the Police Gazette scrapbook. I have 50 Police Gazette scrapbooks. They're 1,000 pages thick, each book, each one. And I have Harry Greb book by himself, Mickey Walker book by himself, Jack Dempsey book by himself. I don't know, I have a lot of, it's crazy. So this is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Salute to my subscribers. Peace.